Hello. Do this. Hello and happy Vlogmas. I think we're on day 10. I've had a bit of a rest. I clustered my last few days into smaller videos. And since today is just another boring work travel day, I thought we would do our little Q&A. Because on one of the earlier videos, I did ask for you guys to leave questions in the comments, and I got tons of good questions. My hotel is nice. It's much nicer than I expected, actually. And one of the things that they told me when I checked in is that they have a hot chocolate bar with toppings and free cookies in the lobby. So I will almost certainly be doing that later. But for right now, I am logging in to my YouTube account so I can take a look at the questions from the earlier video. Oh, I forgot my knitting. Whoop. Okay. If you missed the last episode, I started this little balaclava as a Christmas gift for a friend. It's kind of a rushed project because we are seeing them for Christmas this weekend. They're coming into town to celebrate my birthday. That's usually when we do Christmas with them, is my birthday weekend. So I'm trying to finish. I mean, it's going pretty quick. It's like half done. It's half ahead here. I guess it's not half done then, but a third done. I'm not going to get caught up in the math of it all. It's coming along. How's that? It's coming along well. I like the fabric it's making. It's a nice, squishy, thick wool, which I said last time, it's because it's for a snowboarder. I want it to be nice and thick and comfy. This is an old Knit Crate yarn, so it's a blend of alpaca, of wool, and suri. And I think I have way more than I need. I have 3 skeins of this, and this is how far I am in my first skein. Like, I think I might not even use a full 2, but I've got more if I need it. Okay, let's go to comments. I'm just going to read these off in no particular order. I think YouTube might be sorting them from oldest to newest, but all right. So this one says, you are doing a great job on your cross stitching. This must have been from a much earlier video because lately I have not been doing a great job. Not that I've been doing a poor job, I just haven't been doing it. I've been really slacking off and I'm a few days behind now on that. I did bring it. Maybe I'll work on it tonight. But I was kind of looking forward to just catching up on other Vlogmases and watching YouTube and knitting, because I started more Vlogmases than I can handle, and because we were visiting with people over the weekend, I haven't had time to like watch YouTube videos on my own. And I'm not like behind. It's not an obligation, but I enjoy watching them and I want to watch them all. And I'm also one of those people that like the day after Christmas, like I don't care anymore. I'm not very interested in watching Christmas content after Christmas. So I do want to try to catch up, so to speak, before then, but I'm sure I will. I have plenty of time. And the fact that I'm alone at this hotel tonight means I will get to watch a lot of them because my husband won't be hogging YouTube to watch train videos or whatever nonsense. Back to the question, my God. Can you tell I'm having a Baja Blast? You are doing a great job on your cross stitching. What are your other interests slash hobbies besides the fiber arts? Excellent. So, I have to think about it. Who am I outside of fiber art? I would consider YouTube to be a hobby, even though I'm talking about the fiber arts and it is very fiber art centric. It is a skill that I'm developing that is technically unrelated to the fiber arts and that I'm enjoying doing on its own. But you know about that one. I do like video games, but I don't make enough time to play video games anymore. More often, I watch people play The Sims on YouTube. I have a handful of simmers that I like to watch, mostly build stuff. I'm less interested in gameplay, but I really love to watch the creative, like house builds people do. And I think that's largely because one of my other hobbies is home decor, which I think it's a hobby because I really enjoy it. I'm often when I'm thrifting, I'm looking for home decor items. I follow a lot of home decor people on Instagram and like Pinterest, and I love gathering ideas about like clever and unique ways to use vintage or like antique finds. And I'm always redecorating little corners of my house. It's never done. I never want it to be done. I'm always changing, and I have decor items that I kind of rotate in and out. And I do consider that to be a hobby. And I also, we're big Universal Orlando people, which people that aren't theme park people don't realize it's a hobby, but it's a hobby because we're always keeping up with the news about the parks, what's changing in the parks, what events are coming up, and we go every year at least once. So it's something that's on my mind a lot, even when I'm not in Florida. So I do consider my Universal Orlando uh, passion to be a hobby of mine as well. And that's one that I actually share with Josh because most of our stuff we're quite different. That being said, Jet asked how my husband and I met, how long we've been married, and when in my life did we decide to go vegetarian. We have been married 11 years. We met as teenagers. We worked at the same Dunkin' Donuts. So we like to say that we met at the sandwich station. We actually decided to go vegetarian really early in our relationship. It was in 2009. So we started dating in spring, and by fall, because we were going to college together, by fall we were both no longer eating meat, and we have not ever since. What's your favorite Christmas treat to eat? I like nostalgia treats to me. I mean, like, I love all sweet treats, so that's not true. I like a lot of sweet treats, but probably molasses cookies. My grandmother used to make the best molasses cookies, and uh, not everybody makes them anymore. If I want them, I have to make them myself, which usually means I don't get any. But I really love like the soft molasses cookies. Those are so good. Ooh, Jet also asked one of my favorite questions. I will talk about my pets all day. What are your pets' names and how did they choose you? I'll take it from the top. I am editing and uploading this video tonight from the hotel, but I have plenty of footage of all of them, so I will insert it here. And I'm going to go in the order that we adopted them. So, Audrey has been with us the longest. We at the time we had a puppy, and the puppy was named Indy, and Indy's no longer with us. But way back before we were married, we wanted to get a cat. Also, I say we. No, Audrey was a birthday gift for my husband, and he didn't know about her. But I went out and got her from a shelter. She was 6-month-old kitten, and Indy and Audrey were buddies for a long time, and then after about 6 months, we thought Indy needed a canine friend. So we went and adopted Tubby. We had applied for a bunch of different dogs. We had a hard time finding another dog that we thought kind of fit with Indy. A lot of the ones that we tried to meet didn't get along with her. It was kind of incidental. We had gone to the shelter to meet a different dog, a specific dog who actually bit Indy and was really not a good match for us. And the guy at the shelter was like, "Hey, I don't know if you know about this, but we've got these other beagle mixes you might be interested in." And one of the dogs he brought out was Tubby, and Indy and Tubby like instantly clicked. They were adorable, and they kind of did this thing where they acted in sync almost. They had little curly tails that curled the same way, and whatever was happening to get their attention, they were both like looking the same way at the same time up and down the road, and it sealed the deal. We were like, "Oh, they're such a good pair." And they were. They loved each other. They were quite bonded together, the best of friends for a good long time. A couple years later, we were not intending to get another pet, but it was 2 days before Christmas, and I went to PetSmart, and you know those. I know they do this in the U.S. I don't know if they do this in other places, but a lot of because it's considered quite unethical to like buy a puppy or a kitten or an animal from a pet store. A lot of pet stores, including chain ones like PetSmart in the US, will have like a display for shelter animals to be in the store and to kind of get more exposure. And I was in the pet store because I think I needed to get like cat litter or something for Audrey. And I was walking past the display of shelter cats. And this little black cat saw me walking by and she put her paw up on the window and immediately stole my heart. And I never stood a chance, not for a minute. I asked the employee if I could meet her, and I did. And I sat down in the little meeting room and met with Annie. And I love her. She's such an odd animal, but I loved her so much. And I called my husband and I was like, "Listen, I think we're getting another cat tomorrow." And we did. We brought her home just before Christmas. And she's my little sweetie pie. She needs so much attention, and she's such an oddball. Audrey and Annie, actually, incidentally, are their birthdays are only a couple days apart. They're both 12 years old. We don't know how old Tubby is. We know we got him 11 years ago, and he was already full grown, at least 1 or 2 at the time. So a couple years ago, Indy was sick, and she'd been going through cancer, and she had a great experience with Cornell Animal Hospital, and they did chemo, and she had a great quality of life for a long time. She didn't even know she was sick, but we knew she was sick. And as she started to wind down and we knew she wasn't going to last much longer, we were really concerned about Tubby because he was so bonded to Indy. So we started looking for a puppy because Tubby doesn't like other dogs, actually. He really hates other dogs except for Indy. And we were really worried. He has really bad separation anxiety unless Indy was there because he's not alone. She was his buddy. And we looked for a while and we finally found Olive, who is our little angel. She's not little, she's our big angel. She and Tubby kind of get along. It's pretty hit or miss. Our rationale was that if we bring home a puppy, he'll know them from when they're small and he'll get to mold them and raise them and he won't hate them from the beginning, which kind of worked. But kind of, we also just like let a little sociopath dog raise a skittish dog, and now she's a big skittish dog. Don't buy animals for your animals. If you take anything away from this, I don't regret a single one of them. I love them all, but they don't all get along very well. Since the pair of Indy and Tubby, none of them like actually seem to really like each other. Oh, well, they're mine and they're not going anywhere. Those are my babies. See, I just talked a really long time about that. This video is going to take forever to upload. What are some of your favorite craft-related gifts that you've given or received during previous holidays? I really liked how those NFL scarves I made a couple years came out. I kind of improvised this striped garter stitch scarf that had these panels of brioche at the end because I thought it kind of simulates the look of fringe without actually having to add fringe, which just gets messy and is a pain to do, in my opinion. I bought NFL logo patches to sew onto them, so I made them for 4 different people. I resent so much that I committed to making 4 straight rectangular scarves at the same time with the same deadline because that's so boring, but they came out really nice. And I was very proud of those. Struggling to think of things I've made for people. I know the blanket that I gifted my cousin for her wedding over the summer was special just because it was yarn that belonged to our grandmother. That was really nice to make and a nice, like, thoughtful project to work on. Anything from your grandmother's stashes that you're especially excited to work on in 2025? No, I have several things that I feel obligated to work on in 2025, and I'm not excited about it. I want to do it because I want to honor them and I want to like think of them and like fulfill these things that they started, but I don't enjoy I'm not gonna enjoy knitting that Afghan. I know it and I've been putting it off for years already. I don't know, maybe that'll want like surprise me, right? Maybe that'll be one of the ones that I actually like when it comes around. But this person asked such a great question that I can't answer now because I'm not home. They said, uh, maybe it would be fun to do a tour of some of my favorite Christmas holiday decorations and the stories behind them, or if they were thrifted or where they came from. And I love that. And I'm going to have to remember to do that in a later video because I love my Christmas decorations. Some of them are interesting or just unique and fun. But obviously, I'm not home and I can't show footage of them now because I don't have it. I haven't been knitting at all. Like it's just been sitting on my lap. I got all excited to knit and chat and I totally forgot. I'm gonna knit now. Now I've run out of questions. You can always leave more. We might end up doing another one of these because we're not even halfway through Vlogmas. I'm sure I will have more days when I have nothing to talk about. For now, I'm going to tidy this place up a little. Oh, wait, I didn't tell you about my coats. Oh my gosh. I will knit and chat then. On the way here to the hotel after my work today, I found a local thrift store. I always do, right? Like if I'm in a new place, I'm gonna look up if there's a thrift store, especially when I'm getting out of work at like 4 p.m. and I don't have anything to do the rest of the evening. Like it just makes sense. So I found a local thrift store on the way here and I found some good stuff. Now I did buy other things like some cheap baby clothes for my nephew because I'm always looking out for things for them. Some like small home items. Like I said, I'm always picking up home decor things, but I didn't bring those inside. I did bring in the coats because I found 3 coats that I think are like really nice and I'm proud of having found them. So I'm going to show you the footage of them here. I'm sure the first 2 are vintage. The last one I don't believe is, but I don't know about the brand and I can't find any evidence. However, the first one I found is this like camel peacoat style, like long coat. It is wool. It says in the label it's 100% new virgin wool. It's really nice. The sleeves are a bit of a bracelet length. They're a little short, so they're the kind of thing. It's the kind of coat you would like wear gloves with. But I really like it. It's really nice. It was on sale. It was $5. Such a nice find. The gray coat is a similar cut, but the waist is a little smaller, and the buttons fasten in a nice way around the waist that like cinches it in a little. And I love the flare of this coat. This one's definitely my favorite of the 3, and it's so pretty. I swear I'm gonna wear it all the time. It's so cute. And that one was most expensive. That one was $18, but I really liked it. I really liked the fit of it. And it's a wool and cashmere blend. And I should say the reason I know those 2 are vintage is because the tan wool coat says it was made in Yugoslavia, so that's definitely not recent. And the gray wool and cashmere coat has this tag on the inside that says it was made by a certain union. And I did a little bit of research by reverse image searching the tag, and I guess they used different tags historically. So this style of tag that is sewn into my coat was used from 1974 to 1995, I think is what it said online. So I know that it was made in that window of time. And then the third jacket I found was just this rather plain black leather jacket. I am vegetarian. However, I will buy leather if it's secondhand. I don't buy it new, but it's a nice jacket. It actually reminds me a lot of one my grandmother used to wear, and she loved that like style of like that cut of coat, and she had a leather jacket like that. So I'm really proud of that. That one's a little bit small on me. I don't think I could button it, but it's certainly comfortable to wear open, and the sleeves aren't too tight or anything. So, yeah, those are a fun find. I'm very pleased with that. So that said, my hotel room's a little messy, even though I'm only here for one night. Honestly, it's kind of funny the amount of stuff that I end up having to bring here just for one night. Like, I'm always so glad that my coworkers don't like see me unloading the car because they think I'm nuts because I have to bring my computer and some filming equipment. Like, you're on a tripod with a lighting setup. Like, it's not. I've got like 5 bags of stuff just to stay here for one night. It's a little silly. That's what we're dealing with, right? I'm just a secret YouTuber. All right, so I'm gonna tidy up a little because I've been here for like an hour and my room is already such a mess. In a little while, I think I'm gonna get some of that free hot chocolate and put on my pajamas and just watch Vlogmas for the rest